Tuscaloosa in a frenzy. We talked about
Alabama reaches the college cup for the first time.
Heisman Memorial Trophy.
The first soccer championship in school history.
Alabama is still Alabama, and welcome to the Crimson Tide Production Studio right here inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium.
She's Kenzie Hughes, I'm Roger Hoover, and welcome to another episode of TideTV this week. Kenzie, roll Tide. We have made it to the open date after 8 weeks of Alabama football.
After 8 weeks of Alabama football, and you're forgetting a big win in the third weekend of October, Roger, and this one may have been one of the best halves we've seen the Tide play in quite a while this past Saturday against Tennessee, but maybe not in the first 30 minutes of action. There wasn't much to talk about in the first half for the Crimson Tide, except for this 10-yard pass from Jalen Milroe to Jermaine Burton to make it 13-7. The Vols led 20-7 at the half, but Roger, I don't know what was said or done in the Alabama locker room at the half, but I want some more of whatever that was.
Nick Saban's the best in the business for a reason. The Crimson Tide thoroughly dominated the Vols in the second half, outscoring Tennessee 27-0. On the second play of the second half, Isaiah Bond absolutely burned the Tennessee secondary. Milroe stepped up in the pocket, hit a wide-open Bond for the score. Isaiah Bond, made it a ball game just 41 seconds into the third quarter, 20-14.
And after a Will Reichard 42-yard field goal, the Alabama defense stopped the Tennessee offense on 4th and 1 at midfield, and the Tide made Josh Heupel and the Volunteers pay. Jace McClellan punched it in from 5 yards out to put the Rising Tide back on top, 24-20. Will Reichard then added another, this one from 50 yards out. That's why he's one of the best. It gave Alabama the 27-20 lead.
Bryant-Denny Stadium was in an absolute frenzy, and then later on, Chris Braswell already with a touchdown this season following the Reichard field goal. Of course, Alabama with Chris Braswell getting the huge stop on Joe Milton. The scoop and score by Jahad Campbell. He ran it all the way back. What a second half for the Crimson Tide as they dominate the Vols 27-0 in the second half as the Tide rolled on to victory 34-20.
Great win for us. We had a great atmosphere in the stadium. Our fans were fantastic. They had a huge impact on the game in terms of the penalties at the end of the game and not allowing them to score. So I just can't tell you how pleased and proud I am with everybody in the organization who puts a lot into it so that we can, have games like this, have atmospheres like this, and have the opportunity to compete like this for our players. So really, really proud of our team. And it was a great team win. I mean, 27-0 in the second half was pretty good offense and really good defense.
The win was Alabama's 16th win in the last 17 games against Tennessee. Jace McClellan had a game-high 117 yards on 27 carries with the score. Jermaine Burton led the Tide with 4 receptions, and Isaiah Bond had a team-high 77 yards.
The Alabama defense held the SEC's top rushing attack to almost half their season average as the Tide allowed just 133 yards on the ground. The Tide also held the Vols on 3 fourth-down attempts as Alabama improved to 8-1 and 5-0 in the SEC with a 34-20 win over Tennessee. And a big part in that impressive defensive performance was due to the play of sophomore linebacker Jahad Campbell. Campbell not only had the fumble return for a touchdown, but also had 10 tackles and a tackle for loss as he was named the SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Week and the Bronco Nagurski National Defensive Player of the Week.
Strong honors for Jahad Campbell. How about the SEC's all-time scoring leader? Named the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, Will Reichard. He scored 10 points as he connected on field goals from 42 and 50 yards.
And to no surprise, next weekend's matchup with LSU will be on CBS and in primetime. The Tide and Tigers will be part of the SEC on CBS doubleheader. Georgia and Missouri will kick off at 2:30, and then the Tide and the Tigers will kick off at 6:45 in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
It's going to be a big-time matchup at Bryant-Denny. It'll have control of the SEC West on the line, and if the Crimson Tide win, they'll have a 2-game cushion to win the West and earn that spot in the SEC championship game.
Thought they will. You love it when the stakes are high in games like this, and it's a big-time top 15 matchup, and I can't wait. But first, I'm going to enjoy the week off for a minute. I'm going to enjoy a weekend off. Then it's time to get ready for the Tigers. But first, it's time for our Crimson Tide in the NFL Players of the Week. And Roger, we got some good ones this week.
We certainly do, starting with Mac Jones. Jones. He led the New England Patriots to an upset win over the Buffalo Bills. Jones completed 25 of 30 passes for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trailing by 3 with less than 2 minutes remaining, Jones led the Patriots down the field 75 yards, also picked up a game-winning pass to his tight end that gave the Patriots the 29-25 win over the Bills, and also gave head coach Bill Belichick his 300th win.
And in the first ever matchup between Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts in the NFL, Hurts came out on top as he threw for 279 yards and 2 touchdowns, adding a 1-yard touchdown on the ground as the Eagles defeated the Dolphins 31-17. And Roger, look at how cool this moment is. Tua and Jalen embrace after the game, 2 of the best to ever play quarterback for the Crimson Tide.
Absolutely agree. Those were our Crimson Tide, the NFL Players of the Week. When we come back, we'll take you all access for the Tide's big win over Tennessee in Bryant-Denny this past Saturday.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. It was the 3rd Saturday in October this past weekend in Bryant-Denny. Alabama won 34-20 over Tennessee, their 16th win in the last 17 matchups with the Volunteers.
You love to hear that, and what a second-half performance by the Crimson Tide. Let's take an all-access look at the Tide's big rivalry win over the Volunteers.
3rd Saturday in October. Let's do it.
The sting of last year's loss remains with the Crimson Tide. And Alabama players, they told me that this game is personal. Jalen Milroe said there's an extra hunger within this team. Everyone understands the assignment.
As a player, you only have 12 opportunities, but certain ones are just special. And this is definitely fits that category.
Now, guys, Coach Saban challenged the fans to have an impact in this game by disrupting that up-tempo Tennessee offense. And the stakes, they are higher than ever.
He throws long. He's got coverage, but there's a man open. Touchdown. Squirrel White. And it is up. And it is good.
Look out from behind. Ball's on the ground. And Tennessee's got it. Here we're early, but it's all Tennessee so far.
Milroe looks, fires, end zone. Touchdown. Jermaine Burton.
Milton lofts it. Got it to McAllen Castles, the tight end for the touchdown. Tennessee with a lead, 20-7.
Well, guys, it was actually a very calm Nick Saban. He said we're just down by 2 scores. We still have plenty of time to go. He does want to see his team pick up the energy and enthusiasm in this game.
Deep. Lays it out there, and he's got Bond. Isaiah Bond. Touchdown.
Just like that, this Alabama crowd is back in the game.
Give, and Bama swarms through. And Deontay Lawson, he was there with Tim Smith backing him up.
Now the Tennessee jump in the neutral zone. It looks like it. And again, another flag flies in. It'll be a free 5 again. Same guy again. This one from 42 yards out. Got it. Snuck it in. 8.5 to go, 3rd. Tennessee still leading by 3.
He's not going to get there. That was Jihad Campbell. Jihad Campbell.
And now it's Milroe on the keeper. Jalen Milroe. A stiff arm and out of bounds just outside the 5.
Cutting it up the field and taking it in. Chase McClellan. Touchdown, Alabama. Milton pumps, pulls it down, unloads it.
They blew that up in a minute. Yep. Gonna try to run out of it, and he got there. Took a big hit, but it's a first down. Will Reichard's been thinking about that miss last year, all year, from 50. Up and got it.
Stands in. The ball is not free. It's picked up by Alabama. And rumbling in for the touchdown is the Crimson Tide's Jihad Campbell. The 3rd Saturday of October. Starting to feel like the good old days.
Nothing. Milton's going the wrong direction. Down he goes. Way back inside the 40. And the Tennessee fans were cheering on their trip here to Tuscaloosa in the first half with a 20-7 lead. The 27 Alabama points later. And this one's going to be in the books.
Oh, man. That is a game. We out of here. We did it. Hey, now get back. Now get back. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to Tide TV this week. It's fall, Roger, and you know what that means, right?
Pumpkin spice lattes?
Obviously pumpkin spice lattes, but not quite. We're halfway through football season, square in the middle, if you will. But it also means that it's our time to shine, Roger. It's basketball season, baby.
We love basketball, and this past week, the men's and women's teams from all around the SEC were in Birmingham for SEC Media Days. Let's start with going all access with Coach Oates, Mark Sears, and Aaron Estrada.
Roll Tide. That's exactly what Dado Squad did last year. Your style, and how do they fit in so well? And how do you envision all these guys with Mark and everybody working together?
But you set a standard that's so high. When you approach a blue-collar led team, what is your message to them?
What does this team look like this year?
What were we picked last year? 5th? 21, my second year. 5th? Or picked 5th 3 times now? Shows how smart you guys are. So, I'll take 5th.
And after a great season last year, Coach Oates and the Tide are back in the preseason rankings. Alabama checks in at number 24 in both the Associated Press and Coach's Top 25 polls.
And with football being ranked in the top 10, Alabama is one of just 6 schools to have both football and men's basketball in the top 25. Who said Alabama was just a football school, Roger? We're a championship school, baby. Didn't you know it? We even have a Champions Plaza. How many schools do you know have something like that?
That we do, and several more championship teams were added to the Sarah Patterson Champions Plaza not too long ago. The Alabama women's basketball team was also in Birmingham at the Grand Bohemian Hotel. Let's go all access with head coach Christy Curry, Sarah Ashley Barker, and Loyal McQueen.
Excited to be in Birmingham today. Excited for the journey ahead for our program this season. I don't think we ever rebuild. You know, our goal at Alabama is to always reload. We signed the number 12 class in the country. Our recruiting has been phenomenal.
SEC Media Day. We're here at SEC Media Day. Roll Tide.
But the 5 that we return are very experienced and extremely talented, have played a tremendous amount of minutes.
The Tide have arrived. Coach Christy Curry and Sarah Ashley Barker joining us.
With this leadership role that I've taken on this year, so I'm excited for the season.
Coach Christy, because she just demands so much from us, and it's just amazing.
Off their season at home with an exhibition against the University of Alabama, Huntsville coming up on Wednesday, while the men will travel to Winston-Salem, North Carolina for a charity exhibition matchup with Wake Forest on Sunday.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready for some round ball, Roger. We've still got a lot left to cover, so stay with us. We'll have more Tide TV this week coming up next. Welcome back to the Crimson Tide Production Studio inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium. This guy, Roger Hoover. I'm Kinsey Hughes, and this is Tide TV This Week.
The Alabama soccer team played a couple of matches this past week against teams from the Magnolia State.
Alabama took on Ole Miss on the road on Thursday, and on Sunday, the Tide returned home to take on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Felicia Knox and the Alabama soccer team had a big impact in their trip to the Magnolia State this past week.
Visiting an Ole Miss team that has stayed undefeated at home all season, the Tide brought home some fire. In the 37th minute, off the assist from Jessica Skorka, Italia Jamili buried a shot in the back of the net, ending the Rebels' home unbeaten streak. Goalkeeper Coralie Lawyer was instrumental in the win, tallying 5 saves in the shutout. Following the victory over Ole Miss, Gemelli and her fellow seniors, Felicia Knox, Kate Henderson, and Mariana Anest, were honored on Sunday for Senior Day as Alabama prepared to face Mississippi State.
After a scoreless first half, Alabama continued to set the pace offensively with 13 total shots and 6 shots on goal. However, in the 62nd minute, the Bulldogs would take the lead before netting another just 11 minutes later, sealing the upset victory and ending Alabama's 28-game home unbeaten streak 2-0.
The Alabama volleyball team hosted LSU in a conference matchup this past week. After falling in set 1 25-21, the Crimson Tide just couldn't quite bounce back as the Tigers took home the 3-set win.
Up next, Rashinda Reed's squad has some back-to-back home matches this weekend against Mississippi State on Friday at 6 and Auburn on Sunday at 11.
The Alabama swimming and diving team swept 20th-ranked Missouri in a home meet this past week. The men had 4 athletes win 2 individual titles apiece in their 180-118 win, and the Tide women defeated the Tigers 212-88, led by Jada Scott, who cashed in 3 individual titles in the victory.
And with that performance, Kaike Alves and Mackenzie Brandt won the men's and women's SEC Swimmer of the Week honors, while Tommy Hager and Jada Scott secured the men's and women's SEC Freshman of the Week honors for the Tide. A great week by the Alabama swimming and diving team, so roll Tide to that.
Roll Tide.
And Roger, as you know, we're nearing the end of October. You know what that means. It's almost time for Halloween, and just in time for spooky season, the Alabama gymnastics team hosted their annual Ghosts and Goblins inter-squad meet this past week. The Ghosts were led by super senior duo Ella Burgess and Makari Doggett, while the Gob squad was led by Maddie Wallagoria.
For the second year in a row, the Ghost brought home the win in front of a crowd of fans in the Francis Smith practice facility.
How spooky of them. Ashley Johnson and the crew will be back in Coleman Coliseum on December 8th for the Crimson and White preview.
Speaking of Halloween, this past Monday, student athletes from all sports came together for the Crimson Tide's annual Halloween extravaganza. Let's take a look at kids from all over West Alabama got to enjoy games, costumes, and trick-or-treating with Big Al and the Crimson Tide.
Kind of working with the community and getting immersed in it and working with all the little kids and showing them like they could be athletes someday, and I think it's really awesome.
It means a lot to get give back to the community. They give so much to us, and get to hang out with the kids and show them some tennis. It's really cool to show the little ones and hopefully get them into it.
About this event, it's so fun interacting with kids, playing with them. It's really good.
I think it's been great to see the little kids and from little to a little bigger, and get to see them hitting and learning and picking it up as they go. It's really cool to get to see them just enjoying it and having fun.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
Another chance. It's good. Alabama strikes first. Itala Gemelli.
Milrow looks, fires, end zone, touchdown, Jermaine Burton. That was a bullet, a 10-yard bullet, and my goodness, I don't believe he made it.
Yeah, he's short.
Here's the snap. Milrow stands in, loads up long, looking, got him, touchdown! Isaiah Bond. Shotgun snap, give to Sampson. He's not going to get there. That was Jihad Campbell. Milton stands in. The ball is knocked free. It's picked up by Alabama. And rumbling in for the touchdown is the Crimson Tide's Jihad Campbell. Alabama wins the 3rd Saturday of October. The Tide is back to their winning ways here in 2023.
Do you hear that, Roger? I think you hear it. I know you hear it. Is Rammer Jammer still playing? A victory over Tennessee. And Roger, you know they say for Halloween, you're supposed to dress as your role models, the people you look up to and aspire to be. I saw a picture on Twitter circulating, and I had to recreate it. How'd I do? How'd I do?
Good. Very good. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe what I'm still hearing or seeing, but hey, you pulled it off.
I did. And hey, those were the Legacy Hope plays of the week. I know that this is our play of this week. But right now, we're going to take a look at our players of the week. Starting it off, Chris Braswell had a big play in the game. With the Tide up 7 midway through the fourth quarter, Braswell sacked Joe Milton, forcing the fumble, and Jahad Campbell was right there to pick it up for the scoop and score. That play put Alabama up 2 touchdowns as the Tide won their 16th out of the last 17 meetings against Tennessee.
Men's golfer Nick Dunlap finished 2nd overall in Abu Dhabi, helping to lead Team USA to the World Team Amateur Championship. Dunlap carded 4 consecutive rounds in the 60s to lead all USA golfers with a 2nd-place finish at 15 under par, 273.
And finally, after her performance in the all-around for the Pan American Games, gymnast Luisa Blanco became just the 6th Alabama gymnast of all time to secure her spot in the Olympics. Luisa will be competing in Paris this summer as a part of Team Columbia, so be sure to tune in to support her.
Congratulations to all our players of the week.
Congratulations to those players of the week, and congratulations to me for a spectacular Roger Hoover impression. I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving it.
You have the headset, you have the Christopher Mobley shirt down, so we're good there.
I knocked it out of the park, right?
Well, I hope everyone has a great week. We hope to see you back here next week for another edition of Tide TV This Week. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,